It was, it was pretty clear to me that was all kind of, it seemed to me that was kind of like a plan, you know what I mean?
I was always the one.
Me and Stevie becoming a couple was only the work of God, because I never in a million years could ever tell you I've never thought of him in that way, you know what I mean?
Biggie's legacy is that he is the greatest of all time.
People in the industry started to hear my name once they heard those demos, like, who was that singing those backgrounds, you know?
Faith Evans has been through the ringer. From getting caught up in the wild beef between Biggie and Tupac to tying the knot with Stevie J, her life is like one of those juicy soap operas you can't stop watching. But listen, this R&B queen ain't just about her hits and being Biggie's widow. Nah, her life's been full of drama, scandal, and heartbreak that would leave anyone shook. And guess what? Sis is finally ready to spill all the tea. We're talking messy relationships, deep industry secrets, and personal struggles that she's kept quiet about for years. So buckle up, because this story is about to get real.
People in the industry started to hear my name once they heard those demos, like, who was that singing those backgrounds, you know?
All right, let me break it down for you. Faith Evans, born in Lakeland, Florida in '73 and raised in New Jersey, got herself caught up in some serious drama. And it all started with that wild East Coast versus West Coast beef between Biggie and Tupac. You know Faith was married to Biggie, right? But things got real messy when she got mixed up with Tupac. So Tupac hits Faith up, talking about he wants to do a track with her. Faith, being the good-hearted sister she is, thinks it's all about the music. So she's like, cool, let's do it. But after they finish recording, Pac tells her she gotta come to his hotel to get paid. Now, Faith ain't thinking nothing of it. She's just trying to get her coins. But when she gets to that hotel room, Tupac flips the script on her. He tells her if she wants that money, she's gotta handle him first. You know what I'm saying? Faith was shook. She was like, what? She didn't sign up for that. So she bounces out of there, but the damage was done. Tupac, being the messy dude he was, started running his mouth, telling everybody that he and Faith did the deed. And that's when all hell broke loose. Now, imagine how Biggie felt when he heard those rumors. His own wife caught up with his biggest enemy. Biggie was mad as hell, and who could blame him? Even though Faith kept telling him, baby, it ain't true. Biggie's head was all messed up. The streets were talking, and Biggie couldn't escape the gossip. It put a huge strain on their marriage, and Faith was stuck in the middle of it all, feeling scared and humiliated. Faith was just trying to make her way in the game, but she got caught up in something way bigger than she ever expected. That whole situation had her looking over her shoulder, wondering who she could trust.
It was, it was pretty clear to me that was all kind of, it seemed to me that was kind of like a plan, you know what I mean?
And it didn't just mess up her relationship with Biggie. It put her smack dab in the middle of one of the biggest beefs in hip-hop history. All right, let's get into Faith and Biggie's roller coaster of a relationship. When I say it was a whirlwind, I mean it was fast and furious. Faith met Biggie and it was like, bam, instant attraction. They hit it off so quick that just 8 days after meeting, they were already walking down the aisle. Yep, you heard me right. 8 days. Biggie was smitten, talking about, that's my wife, from the moment he laid eyes on her, and Faith was all in. They were young, in love, and ready to take on the world together. But the drama came fast too. Biggie, as much as he loved Faith, had a thing for other women, and it wasn't long before the infidelity started. The messiest of all was his affair with Lil' Kim. Now, Faith knew Biggie had his side pieces, but things got real ugly when she caught Lil' Kim in bed with him. Imagine walking into your man's hotel room and seeing another woman. And not just any woman. Lil' Kim. Faith was heated, but Biggie was so bold about it he didn't even try to lie. He was like, yeah, I did it, and that was that. Even with all that drama, Faith stayed with him. She loved Biggie deep, and in some twisted way, she appreciated that he was honest with her about his dirt. But that didn't make it any easier. There were also rumors that Biggie was rough with Faith, that he put his hands on her more than once. And while Faith kept quiet about it for the most part, you know those scars run deep.
I was always the one.
Then, tragedy struck. The night Biggie was murdered, Faith's world came crashing down. She was already dealing with all the mess in their marriage, but losing Biggie like that, it sent her spiraling into a deep depression. She was lost, didn't know which way was up. But life kept moving, and just a few months later, Faith married Todd Rusaw. Some folks said she moved on too fast, but maybe she was just trying to find some stability after all that chaos. Faith's relationship with Biggie was a wild ride, full of love, betrayal, and pain. And even after he was gone, the impact of that relationship stayed with her, shaping the woman she would become. Now let's move on to the hot mess that was Faith's marriage to Stevie J. Now, when news broke that Faith had married Stevie J, her son's godfather, in a surprise Vegas wedding, in 2018, folks were straight up shocked. I mean, this wasn't just some random dude. This was Stevie J, the same guy who had been all up in the drama on reality TV for years. And to make it even crazier, he's the godfather to Faith's son with Biggie. Talk about mixing business with pleasure. But here's the tea. Faith and Stevie had a long history together. They go way back to the days when Faith was with Bad Boy Records, and Stevie was one of Diddy's top producers. Stevie had been chasing after Faith for years, flirting and trying to shoot a shot. Faith wasn't having it at first, but Stevie kept at it, and eventually, she gave in. But the minute they said, "I do," the red flags started popping up like crazy.
Me and Stevie becoming a couple was only the work of God, because I never in a million years could ever tell you I've never thought of him in that way.
First off, there was Stevie's never-ending drama with his ex, Joseline Hernandez. Even though he and Faith were married, he couldn't seem to shake off his past with Joseline. And let's not forget the other women Stevie was always messing around with. Faith thought she was getting a partner, but it turned out she was just signing up for a front row seat to more chaos. Their marriage was rocky from jump. There were rumors flying about Stevie cheating, and they had public arguments that had everybody talking. The real low point came when Faith got arrested for domestic violence after an argument with Stevie turned physical. The police showed up, and they found marks on Stevie's face, so they hauled Faith off to jail. She got bailed out, but that incident had folks side-eyeing their whole relationship. By 2021, things were so bad that Stevie actually filed for divorce, asking for spousal support from Faith. Can you believe that? But here's the kicker. Not long after, Stevie was all over social media begging Faith to take him back. Like, what kind of mess is that? Turns out Stevie was in deep financial trouble, with massive debts and child support payments piling up. Some folks think that's why he was so eager to get spousal support from Faith during the divorce. Their marriage was a constant source of gossip, with folks wondering why Faith even married Stevie in the first place. But one thing's for sure, when it comes to drama, these two definitely brought the heat. It's just a shame that it all went down the way it did. Alright, let's get into the real juicy stuff. Diddy's role in all this drama. Now, we all know Diddy was Biggie's mentor, the one who put him on the map. But ever since Biggie's tragic death, there's been talk that Diddy might have had something to do with it.
Biggie's legacy is that he is the greatest of all time.
At first, Faith was riding hard for Diddy, saying he would never hurt Big, who was not just his artist but one of his closest friends. But as the years went by and more tea started spilling, Faith's been singing a different tune. Rumor has it that Faith knows a lot more about what went down the night Biggie was killed than she's letting on. Some folks even think Diddy's got some skeletons in his closet that tie him to Biggie's death, and Faith might be holding those secrets. Diddy's always been a power player in the industry, but you know with power comes darkness, and it looks like Faith might be one of the few who really knows what's up. And then there's Stevie J. Oh yes, he's caught up in this mess too. Word on the street is that Stevie was involved in some of Diddy's shadier activities, like recruiting women for those infamous parties and maybe even doing more than that with Diddy himself. There's been talk that Stevie and Diddy had a whole lot going on behind the scenes. And you best believe that had to put a strain on his marriage with Faith. I mean, how are you going to be married to someone who's tied up in all that mess? Faith probably knows way more about Diddy's dirty dealings than she's ever let on. And you gotta wonder how much of that played into her relationship with Stevie. This whole situation is messier than a spilled bottle of hair dye, and Faith has been right in the middle of it all. Baby. The truth might come out one day, but for now, we're left wondering just how deep this drama really goes. Alright, so where's Faith Evans at now? Despite all the mess and drama, Faith is still out here doing her thing. In 2020, she dropped a single called Love on Me, showing that she still got those smooth vocals we fell in love with back in the day. And let's not forget her appearance on DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic special. She brought that classic vibe and reminded everyone why she's a true R&B queen. These days, Faith is all about family. After that hot mess of a divorce with Stevie J, she's been focusing on her kids and trying to move forward. She's been through so much, but Faith is a survivor, honey. She's trying to rebuild her life and career, keeping her head up despite all the public hate and drama that's followed her around for years. When you look at Faith's legacy, you gotta give her props. She's been a major force in R&B, and even though her personal life has been chaotic, her talent is undeniable. Faith's story is one of resilience and survival. No matter what life throws at her, she keeps pushing through. Despite everything, Faith Evans is still a legend in the game, and her music will always be part of R&B history. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See ya in the next one.